Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Hi, happy Friday. It is October 29th, and we are going to start Halloween weekend, I guess, today, if you want to celebrate early.
That's right. We'll talk to Justin about your Halloween forecast coming up. Looks like he has an updated pollen count for us as well, and it's a chilly start in some places this morning. Glad you are with us. Going to talk about interesting study. We talk about a lot of studies and a lot of research here on GMSA at 9, but this one has a couple of notable San Antonio connections.
Yeah, and the story is actually a little scary. So a new study shows that chemicals known as phthalates, which have been linked to health problems, have been detected in food from popular chains like McDonald's, Chipotle, and more. Yeah,
the peer-reviewed analysis was published this week by Southwest Research Institute here in San Antonio, a number of other partner institutions. The research included items from McDonald's, Burger King, Pizza Hut, Domino's, Taco Bell, and Chipotle locations right here in San Antonio.
So the chemicals that are found in the foods that contained phthalates, both of the chemicals have been linked to reproductive health problems, and food containing meat such as chicken burritos and cheeseburgers had higher levels of the chemicals studied, while cheese pizza had the lowest levels.
Again, national study done here in San Antonio. Phthalates, if you're wondering, they're added to plastics to make them softer, and they can transfer from plastics used for food handling, such as glue, gloves, tubing, and more. They've been linked to reproductive problems, as you mentioned, learning and attention problems in children, and more.
And the detected levels of phthalates in the study are below the Environmental Protection Agency's health protective threshold.
National Restaurant Association accused the study of being, quote, a bought and paid for tool of special interest groups looking to incite fear and make headlines, end quote. And they emphasize that the levels, again, are cited in the study are within EPA guidelines.
It is a little scary to read this stuff.
When you think about it.
Well, I mean, as a parent, I'm very scared.
Well, you don't really want this stuff on the menu.
No, not really. I would, no. A side order of phthalates with my Happy Meal. No, thank you.
Pass.
No. Let's look at today's 9 at 9.
Today is the final day of early voting in the Texas constitutional amendment elections. Voters will decide on 8 proposed constitutional amendments. Polls open up at 8 a.m. A list of voting locations and information on each of the proposed amendments are on KSAT.com.
The FDA poised to grant emergency use authorization today for Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for kids ages 5 to 11. If that happens, Pfizer can start shipping its reduced vaccine across the nation. But the CDC has to greenlight the vaccine first. The advisory panel is scheduled to meet Tuesday to address that.
The state offering a year of free child care for those that work in restaurants, bars, and the entertainment industry to help relieve the labor shortage for those businesses. Workforce Solutions Alamo was given a $43 million grant by the Texas Workforce Commission.
Florida Panthers head coach Joel Quenneville resigning overnight. This comes after an investigation revealed he had knowledge of a player's abuse allegations back in 2010 when Quenneville was coach of the Blackhawks.
A new complaint alleging a sex crime has been filed against former New York Governor Andrew CUOMO. He's accused of putting his hand under a woman's shirt last December. CUOMO resigned amid sexual misconduct allegations back in August.
The U.S. Justice Department is considering paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to each child and parent who were separated at the border during the Trump era. The government considering payments around $450,000 to each person affected. About 5,500 children were split from their parents under the practice.
President Biden arrived in Rome overnight after announcing that he and Democrats in Congress have reached a quote-unquote historic framework for his sweeping domestic policy package. In addition to a $1 trillion infrastructure bill, he's also pressing on for a $1.75 trillion social services and climate change program.
Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced the company is changing its name to Meta, but many things will apparently stay the same. Meta, short for Metaverse, is a term for a virtual universe. Facebook showed the concept videos, including sending a holographic image of yourself to a real-life concert.
The Day of the Dead San Antonio River Parade is tonight, and KSAT is your host. Our crew will be there to give us a close look at the colorful, elaborate floats and celebrations. The broadcast kicks off at 8 p.m., and that's today's 9 at 9. So we need a Friday football forecast. We need a Day of the Dead River Parade forecast.
Yes.
We need a Halloween forecast.
Halloween, yeah, all weekend long Halloween.
I'm going to take some notes here. You guys are making me nervous. Got to make sure I have all these in my
You've
forecast.
got it down,
I
Justin
do.
Ford.
I do. I put it in there. Okay. Yes, a lot going on this weekend. We're excited because the weather is beautiful. Yesterday, we showed you the pollen count. And if you remember, juniper was in the moderate category. And we talked about the relation to ash juniper, which is mountain cedar. I know we don't want to talk about it yet. Got a lot of angry responses from that one. Okay, here's the good news. Juniper has jumped down. It's down to 10. It's in the low category. So really all we have to worry about today is molds. It's at 730, still in the moderate category. There's a look at temperatures. We started off about 50 degrees here in town, but a lot of places, outlying areas, we're down in the 40s this morning. 45 in Kerrville right now, 53 Fredericksburg, 56 in New Braunfels, 57 in Gonzales. It is a gorgeous morning. And as we look at the forecast for today, we're going to be up around 75 or so for a high. You'll see those temperatures, again, mid-70s, some places maybe upper 70s, northwesterly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. And here's a look at the weekend forecast. If you're doing some trick-or-treating, 79 Saturday, 82 on Sunday. Eerily comfortable, that's what I'm calling it. Spooky nice on Saturday. Good Halloween stuff. And we're going to see some rain chances kick in next week. We're going to take a look at that. Plus, all those other forecasts you mentioned, football, Day of the Dead Parade, River Parade. We're going to get you the latest on that coming up here in just a few minutes, guys.
We look forward to it. Thank you, Justin. A quick look at the roads with TransGuide this morning, looking at I-35 at Wiedner. Things look good there.
Oh, what a pretty day. And hopefully a pretty night. Day of the Dead, or Dia de los Muertos, is a long-held Mexican tradition being celebrated again tonight here in San Antonio. The commemoration meant to honor loved ones who have passed away.
And tonight, KSAT will host the 2021 Day of the Dead River Parade. Our Jonathan Cotto joins us live and tells us what you can expect and how you can watch. Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie. I am joined by Catrinas and Ali Brejes here at the Arneson River Theater, where our very own Stefania Jimenez, Alicia Barrera, and Steve Spriester will be hosting the Dia de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead San Antonio River Parade here at the Arneson River Theater. Now, these seats here are expected to be jam-packed with viewers enjoying tonight's festivities. And if you have nothing going on tonight, Friday night, don't worry, we have you covered. The Day of the Dead Festival is certainly expected to come to life. Now, the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, is a Mexican multi-day event that is typically celebrated on November 1st and November 2nd to honor those who have passed away. And tonight, the Day of the Dead San Antonio River Parade will be bringing to life a number of colorful and elaborate floats with ofrendas, or offerings for those who are no longer with us, as well as the infamous Catrinas, well-dressed skeletons, and calaveras, decorated skulls. Now, this tradition is also celebrated by using marigolds or cempasúchil to build los altares with offerings from those who have passed. And you can buy your tickets online at KSAT.com or watch from home here on KSAT 12 or on any streaming device. Now, Mark, Stephanie, the parade is expected to start at 7:30 p.m. and the broadcast at 8 p.m. You won't want to miss out. Reporting live from La Villita at the Arneson River Theater, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Jonathan, again, thank you for the preview. In your morning headlines, a star of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the victim of a home invasion robbery.
Los Angeles police say 3 men broke into Doric Kemsley's house on Wednesday night. Aerial video shows shattered glass near the sliding door that goes to the backyard. Police are not confirming that, but they do say the fearful victim directed the robbers to the valuables. The break-in comes a day after a Real Housewives episode aired in which Kemsley bragged about her designer clothes. No arrests have been made. And no more free Whole Foods deliveries for Amazon Prime members.
Yeah, that's right. As a matter of fact, this week the retailer started tacking on a $9.95 delivery charge to orders. Amazon, which acquired Whole Foods in 2017, had previously offered free 2-hour delivery for Prime members. Whole Foods says the fee is to cover costs for delivery equipment and technology and helps the chain avoid having to raise their grocery store prices. Switching gears now, Senator Mitt Romney dressing up as a fictional coach Ted Lasso for a little Halloween fun in the nation's capital.
The Utah Republican tweeted photos of himself in costume, fake mustache and all. In one photo, he's paying a visit to Senator Kyrsten Sinema for, quote, biscuits with the boss, end quote. That's a highly recognizable moment from the Apple TV Plus hit and a not so subtle troll of Democrats who have been forced to make significant concessions to secure the Arizona centrist support for President Biden's agenda.
Well, folks are flipping their wigs over a homemade Marge Simpson wig for a woman made for Halloween.
CNN's Jeannie Mose reports on the towering creation that's gone viral.
Marge Simpson's hair doesn't always get much respect, especially from Homer. Now a California woman is paying her hair homage for Halloween.
From like here up, it is 2 feet.
Folks on social media are wigging out over this handmade wig. Khadijah Baylor, accountant by day, fashion designer in her spare time, thought the Marge wigs for sale online were too short, so she made her own.
Here I am putting it together.
At its base is a wig cap.
There's 2 styrofoam rollers, each about this long.
She bought fake braiding hair and hot glued it on.
But this is a real find.
Tweeted one admirer, "This is truly amazing. Lord knows I'd be like this if I ever tried to wear that wig." Khadijah says the styrofoam makes it lightweight, but it's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, often requiring an assist from 1 or even 2 hands. It took about 6 hours to make and is fairly easy to take off. It requires a surface to put it on. Combs inside the wig cap are all that anchor it to her head. Commenters noted that clearance is a big issue. Khadijah says it's given her newfound respect for Marge Simpson.
When she's got that much hairspray, nothing can stop her.
Anybody who can have big hair and still make it through a doorway, more power to you. Oh my God.
She just has to remember to squat, hoping her 2-foot Marge wig will open doors to a design career.
It'll be good for the economy.
Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
How cute.
It looks like it would be a workout.
Yeah.
To keep, to balance and then, all your neck muscles and everything.
Yeah, you definitely have to think about what you're doing, wearing, the large wig. One year, I was telling you, I was Marge Simpson for Halloween, maybe about 10 years ago, but my wig was very little, and at the time, I felt that was big,
right.
So I can only imagine.
She took it to new heights.
Very much so.
Right now, 9:10, about 57 degrees. You're watching GMSA at 9.
And still ahead, Merriam-Webster has added hundreds of new words and phrases to its dictionary this month. We're going to tell you a few of the popular ones.
Plus, Day of the Dead tribute to during tonight's Riverwalk. Up next, RJ Marquez introduces us to 2 artists expressing culture through colors. We've already been talking about the fact that the KSAT Day of the Dead River Parade is tonight. 2 popular San Antonio artists are at it again this year. They've got the task of painting a calavera on a barge during the parade, start to finish.
And RJ Marquez has the story of part 2 of Los Otros.
Chances are you have seen the work of Sheck Vega and Nick Soup of Los Otros murals all across the city of San Antonio. They have done hundreds of paintings and murals across the Alamo City and around the country. Everything from these amazing artworks when it comes to the San Antonio Spurs to other colorful designs that you will see across the streets of San Antonio.
After meeting in the late 90s, Sheck and Nick officially teamed up to create Los Otros in 2014. Since then, the dynamic duo has gone on to leave their imprint on the city's street art scene by infusing vibrant colors, designs, and realism.
It's a great feeling to see our work across the city of San Antonio in hopes that it can inspire.
He's a great person to hang out with and a good friend of mine for a long time.
The pair are born and raised in South Texas and San Antonio. They understand the city's culture and reflect that in their art.
The contrast of his work and my work melding together, that really created a staple. And down the lines, it just became us. I don't even think it was something where we made like a conscious decision, like, hey, we're going to form something. It just suddenly, hey, we are something.
And they want to make sure San Antonio continues to cultivate the next generation of street artists. Sheck Vega is a founding member of the San Antonio Street Art Initiative, a nonprofit that helps develop young local street artists and muralists.
If we could educate and inform and build a platform for these young artists to launch off of successfully, to build a career and have a career in the city that they love, then we don't lose them.
The initiative is creating the largest outdoor gallery in Texas right here at home by combining the forces of our street art community.
We're using what we've learned in those years leading up even before Los Otros, in our 20 years in graffiti and fine-tuning how to work with a spray can and teaching a younger generation to carry this forward.
RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
Well, 57 degrees out at San Antonio International Airport.
And if you are going to that parade tonight, you might want to carry maybe a sweater and a jacket.
Not a bad idea. It is going to get a little chilly once the sun goes down, obviously. And I think tomorrow morning is probably going to be one of our coolest temperatures we're going to see in the entire 7-day forecast. Weekend looks amazing. Let's start with the lows this morning, though. We got down to 50 here in San Antonio, 48 Bernie Stage, down to 38 in Kerrville. It's been a long time since we've seen numbers like that on the map. So great to see if you are a fan of cool weather. I think most of us are this time of year. 53 degrees in Del Rio this morning, 50 in Uvalde. And let's talk about our first freeze. We get this question about this time of year. When do we hit freezing? When should we start thinking about our plants and that sort of stuff? Well, I think we still have a little bit of time. If you look at the hill country, it's typically October 31st, Halloween, through about November 6th. Now, this is an average, okay? It can happen much later. This is just the average over the years. Here in San Antonio, it tends to be late November, but we have seen a freeze as early as October 30th. That was back in 1917. Nothing in the forecast shows any indication that we'll get near freezing across our area. We'll let you know when we do start to see that in the computer models. It's just not happening yet. Outside right now, we've got blue skies, 59 degrees at the airport, clear skies, westerly winds at about 9 miles per hour, and very dry air. Temperatures still in the 40s around Kerrville. Obviously, it's going to take some time to get those numbers warmed up. They're starting in the 30s. 59 Rio Medina, 57 Castroville, 58 at Randolph, 56 in New Braunfels, 59 Carrizo Springs, 55 in Cotulla. Everybody dealing with clear skies. We'll get those temperatures up to about 75 today here in San Antonio. Some 80s down to the south. Pretty similar to yesterday, maybe just a couple of degrees cooler. And then I mentioned tonight, we see those numbers dip into the 40s. 45 here in San Antonio, 41 Kerrville, 44 in Hondo, 41 up there in Austin. It's going to be a chilly start to your Saturday. As far as the winds go, it will still be a bit breezy today. I think we'll see some gusts up around 25 miles per hour, but the winds really calm tonight, and by tomorrow, we'll be looking at a lot less in the way of wind. Dew points still really dry. They do start to climb a little bit as we get into Sunday. You won't really notice it, though. It's not until next week that the humidity really jumps up. And the hope is that that will lead to some showers and storms, but probably not until Wednesday or Thursday of next week. So here's the forecast. That last area of low pressure moves away. That takes the windy conditions with it. So Saturday, Sunday look great. Maybe a little bit of cloud cover Monday and Tuesday. And I think most of the rain, thunderstorms stay well north of us on Tuesday, by the way. Even on Wednesday, probably staying to the north. But late Wednesday night into Thursday, that's when we could start to see some showers and storms. And they may stick around on the day, through the day on Thursday with cloudy skies and cooler temperatures. We're going to get a front through here, so that'll be the big weather maker next week. We mentioned the Day of the Dead, Dia de Muertos, river parade tonight. Temperatures fantastic, Steph. You're exactly right, though. Look at those numbers by 9 p.m. 62, 57 by 11 o'clock. You may want to take a jacket with you. It will get a little chilly, at least by San Antonio standards, towards the end of the parade. And as far as trick-or-treating goes, the temperatures should be in the 60s and 70s Sunday evening. So that's perfect, too. Looking good for the trick-or-treat forecast. Extended forecast, 79 tomorrow, 82 Sunday, 82 on Monday. We mentioned the chance of rain next week, 30% chance Wednesday night and into the day on Thursday. Highs potentially only in the 60s on Thursday, guys.
Looks good. Thank you, Justin. Merriam-Webster has added 455 new words and phrases to its dictionary this month.
There are plenty of coronavirus-related entries. They include breakthrough, as in breakthrough cases or infections, super spreader, as in super spreader events, long COVID, and vaccine passport. For online culture and communication, there's TBH for to be honest, FTW meaning for the win, and am I right, slang for am I right? Other newcomers include the amazing term dad bod, air fryer, and doorbell camera. If you're unsure what any of these words or phrases mean, go ahead and look them up.
And fans of McDonald's McRib rejoice. The popular barbecue sandwich is returning to the menu on Monday. And in case you do not know what that is, the McRib is a barbecue sauce covered boneless pork patty served with onions and pickle inside of a hoagie style bun. And it first debuted in Kansas City, Kansas back in 1981, making this its 40th anniversary. The sandwich is only being offered for a limited time at participating locations.
For a lot of folks, that's a big deal. The McRib is back. It's been out in some places already for a little while.
Yeah, here and there. I mean, I haven't seen it, but then again, I haven't asked for it.
I've seen people posting about it on social media. Yeah. And then there's other people who are like, no, I'm good.
No, thank you.
No, thanks. Right now, 9:21, about 57 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA at 9, a couple of places you can go this weekend for some Halloween scares. Details on Howl Scream and the Haunted Magnolia Hotel.
Welcome back. We are obviously just a few days away from Halloween. There are lots of places where you can get scared around San Antonio. Howl Scream at SeaWorld is one of them.
And Stephen Cavazos, executive producer Joy Presley, and GMSA at 9 producer Dylan Collins decided to check it out for themselves. Here's a look at what they found.
Hey guys, we are here at SeaWorld San Antonio for the 20th anniversary of Howl Scream. We're here to check out to see if it's worth the hype. We brought some of our producers along. I don't know, you guys are pretty scared.
Well, I'm scared already.
I'm terrified.
We're going to see how this goes, and we're going to let you know if it's worth the hype.
Wish us luck, guys.
We got 5 haunts at SeaWorld San Antonio. Our newest one is the swamp at Blackwater Bayou. Imagine going to the deep backwoods of Louisiana. You find mansions, you find creatures, you find all sorts of crazy stuff. You gotta come see it. Ah!
Oh, that was a short version.
The short one. It's good because they get really scared.
There were some blood-curdling screams in there. Yes. Howl Scream continues until the end of this weekend. And a side note, our GMSA 9 producer Dylan Collins is celebrating a birthday. He's a Halloween baby.
Yes, how appropriate.
Yeah, happy birthday to Dylan.
Yes, happy birthday.
He's on vacation.
And if you're looking for something spooky to do, the Haunted Magnolia Hotel in Seguin is the place to be. Located less than an hour away from San Antonio, the bed and breakfast is home to rich history and tons of spirits. The owners, Jim and Aaron Getty, say it was not just a hotel in the 1800s, but a prison, speakeasy, and much more. Knowing that, they decided to buy the place after seeing it on a list of endangered buildings in Texas. Their plan to restore and preserve the hotel for future generations.
And as soon as we walked at the door, we fell madly in love with her. It's a great place. We do have spirits, but they're all very kind. There's nothing, creepy or demonic or anything like that.
And guests can book a night there throughout the year and investigate on their own, as well as get a guided tour during the day. If you just want to check the place out tomorrow, there will be a free open house from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
All right, staying with the Halloween theme, Stephanie's adorable daughter Rooney is all dressed up at school today.
Yeah, they got to wear their costume, of course. You could see Rooney was Cruella, and she insisted on going in full costume.
She stole your wig? Well, not your wig. The wig you bought for your costume.
Right. So Rooney always requests that I match her. And so when she tried on her costume, she didn't really like the wig that it came with. So there you have my
Mom,
wig.
I'll use yours.
I'll use yours. So I had to order another one to match her. But she was excited, backpack and all. She's like, I'm gonna pull this off. Because I tried to tell her, hey, why don't you wear another red dress? She's like, nope. I'm wearing the gown.
I'm wearing the gown. So you're preparing yourself for what happens to the gown today. You have no idea.
Oh, I have no idea. I hope, I hope for the best.
Hope for the best.
Halloween's still Sunday.
Well, happy Halloween, Rooney. There's more ahead on GMSA at 9 on a Friday.
One San Antonio mother has a warning about uncarved pumpkins that'll make your skin crawl, why you shouldn't sleep next to your pumpkin at night.
Plus, kids want to know about money. Just ahead, an analyst explains the history of money, what a credit score is, and what's involved in borrowing money and how it works.
And our Stephen Cavazos is joining us in the studio to talk about No Shave November, the meaning behind it, and how you can help fight it.
Our cool new animation, thanks to Henry and the KSAT art department. Hey, Monday is the first of the month. That means you'll start seeing some of the men here at KSAT grow out their facial hair for No Shave November. The longstanding tradition has helped raise over $12 million in an effort to raise awareness and fight for all kinds of cancers.
And it's important to acknowledge that there are men in our area who have fallen to the disease and others who are still fighting the battle. Stephen Cavazos is here to talk about this year's effort.
Stephen is our team captain this year. And Stephen, I already know you've done some research on this. How did all this get started nationally?
You know, this is really interesting. It started really in Chicago. A Chicago-based family, the Hill family, lost their father, Matthew Hill, unfortunately, to colon cancer back in 2007. They started a Facebook group shortly after that to raise funds and donations for cancer research, prevention, and treatment. Since then, that effort has grown nationally. They have, pun intended there as well. They have raised over $12 million nationwide. All those funds going towards those efforts. And of course, those efforts continue to grow each year. And we want to raise the stakes here.
And here with our team, we raised a lot of money last year. What's going to be different about this year's effort?
Well, we did raise a lot of money last year and had a lot of hair as well. $10,000 was raised. There's Justin looking. It's just got beard envy from Justin.
Is that Ryan Gosling? Who is that?
Yeah. I got a little beard envy from some of the guys here in our newsroom. I'm not going to lie. But you know what? The effort's amazing. We ranked 5th in the country, raised close to $10,000. So, obviously we are hoping to meet that goal and exceed it as well. This year we have about close to 15 guys that are going to be participating. So we want to make sure that we can get the word out there ahead of time and let folks know where their money goes.
All right. So what can we expect from the men here at KSAT? And give us an idea of who all is participating this year.
Well, Justin is going to be doing it this year. We have Mark's going to be doing, Mike, myself. So you see a little few whiskers there. So today was a last day to put the razor down for a lot of us. So on Monday, you should start seeing a few more whiskers on some of the KSAT guys and a few new guys that have just joined our newsroom, including some people behind the scenes are going to join the cause this year. So again, we have 13 to 15 guys hoping to raise those funds, again, going back to the cancer research, treatment, and prevention.
Well, yeah, one of our newbies, too, is Jonathan Cotto.
Jonathan Cotto will be doing it, and he has a great beard I've seen.
And there's Dylan Collier with what I described as the New York firefighter mustache.
Yeah, and really the mustache, it's a Movember, which goes towards raising awareness for towards cancer impacting men. No Shave November really impacts, efforts really help everybody.
Yeah, it's gotten the view of who all this can benefit has really broadened over the years. All right, Stephen Cavazos, we are ready and raring to go.
We're ready to get growing.
Yes, thank you. We look forward to all the pictures.
More of this for information, and we're going to have much more starting on Monday. Go to ksat.com/no-shave. Thank you very much, team captain.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Stephen.
Adios, Stephen Cavazos. 9:34 right now.
Let's look outside with live cam. A little chilly out there, as to be expected. So I definitely went for my jacket when I went outside briefly.
Big coat, little coat?
A little one, but still.
Yeah.
A jacket.
A jacket. It was probably necessary this morning, especially if you're up in the hill country. We had temperatures in the 30s. So what a start. It's going to be a great weekend. Today looks great. Saturday looks great. Sunday looks great. I think we're excited about this weekend. So much going on, too. Outside, you can see the sun is up, clear skies, really pretty comfortable at the moment. And temperatures are sitting at 59 at the airport, 60 Stinson, 58 Kelly, 58 at Randolph right now. And we do have some wind gusts out there, gusting 17 in Fredericksburg. And we'll see some more gusts, I think, through the afternoon, maybe picking up to about 25 miles per hour in some cases, but it shouldn't be all that bad. Forecast for today, we'll take it up to about 75 degrees. There are those northwesterly winds, 10 to 15 miles per hour. And if you're heading out to some of those Friday night football games, looks good too. You may want to take the coat with you with temperatures falling in the 60s with clear skies tonight. We may be in the 40s before it's all said and done tomorrow morning. We're going to take another look at that weekend forecast and discuss our next chance of rain coming up next week. That's in just a few minutes, guys.
We look forward to it. Thank you, Justin. And for a quick look at some upcoming games in baseball, the World Series continues tonight with Game 3. The Houston Astros playing the Atlanta Braves at 7:09 p.m.
The San Antonio Spurs started a 3-game road trip last night facing the Dallas Mavericks and their new head coach Jason Kidd. The Silver Black jumped out to an early lead, but they didn't have a field goal until Luka Doncic scored with about 6.5 left in the first quarter. Spurs could not close the deal again. Another heartbreaker. Lakers the other night, Mavs last night. They fell last night at the final 104-99. Spurs' next game will be tomorrow, 7 p.m. up against the Bucks in Milwaukee.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
And now for a look at matchup football. In football, Dallas Cowboys in Minnesota playing the Vikings this Sunday at 7:20 p.m.
And don't forget about the other Texas team, the Los Angeles Rams versus Texans this Sunday at noon at the NRG Stadium.
Parents, teachers, and students, who doesn't love money? Who doesn't like to buy things?
And as you know, each time you deal with money, you are actually dealing with math. And math is important because so much of our world, like finance and business, everybody uses it.
In this week's edition of Kids Want to Know, Rachel Clinton shares what she knows about finances with students.
It's math.
How does a credit card work? So how a credit card works is first you apply for one. And once you're approved, they have you sign what is called a credit card agreement. And it's basically just the rules about using the card. From there, you receive the card, and then you're free to start making purchases with it. Now, at the end of every month, they total up all of those purchases, and they send you a bill for that. And that's the amount of money that you owe the credit card company. And if you're late or you don't pay them that full amount, they charge you what is called interest. And that's basically like a fee for not giving them the money that you owe. And that's how the credit card company makes their money.
Now, student led, kid certified learning. Yay!
Yay! I mean, kids these days, they have the most amazing questions. Rooney was asking Steph over breakfast, Mom, what's an exchange traded fund?
No, she wasn't. She was worried about her wig for Halloween.
Costume.
Yeah.
9:38, about 59 degrees. You're watching GMSA at 9.
Fun events for people of all ages, where and what you can do this Halloween weekend in and around San Antonio.
KSAT 12 presents another Day of the Dead story. Brought to you by Toyota.
If you've driven through the streets of San Antonio, you've undoubtedly come across the impressive artwork of Los Otros murals. The work of Sheck Vega and Nick Soup has been seen in various murals across South Texas and the country.
We take the elements of traditional styles and colors and elements, and we give them a new spin by doing it in a whole new genre of work with spray paint, new tools, and just give a more contemporary, modern feel.
This year, the pair has been tapped again to paint a calavera from start to finish during the Day of the Dead Riverwalk Parade.
I can't wait to see what the energy of the people of San Antonio bring.
Having painted together for such a bit and also being friends for such a long time, it's kind of like dancing. We definitely have two different perspectives that go onto it, but they seem to meld together.
The roots of this dynamic duo are based right here in San Antonio, and with every impressive mural, they reflect the culture of the city and are bringing vibrant colors and life to our Day of the Dead celebration.
To have one of the biggest celebrations in the nation, I think for the city of San Antonio is deserving. We're a large Hispanic culture here that celebrate traditions and art, so what better way than to combine both of those?
It's something where we could share this, and this is how we party. This is how we have a good time. This is how we remember people, how we share our experiences with our loved ones.
And welcome back. It's 9:43. This morning on KSAT.com, a San Antonio area teacher is selected to run in a New York City marathon, and a mother is warning people not to sleep with their Halloween pumpkins.
Plus, there are a lot of things you could do to celebrate Halloween and Day of the Dead this weekend. Here to give us all the details is KSAT Digital journalist live in the studio, Rebecca Salinas. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Happy Halloween weekend.
Same to you.
Yeah, so let's start off with some inspiring news this Friday. Manny Olivo, he is a special education job coach for the Shirt-Cibolo Universal City ISD. He was one of 50 educators in the United States to be selected for the marathon under this teachers initiative. Now, he submitted a short video about why he wanted to run the race. He said it basically was inspired by his students that he has here at the school district, and he got selected. So good luck to him. He will be racing the New York Marathon on November 7th.
Wow, that's
an honor.
That's a big deal.
He has run all over the world, so this is just one race that he's about to do, but this one's very important to him. Now, the interesting thing is that he recently ran 135 miles in Alaska. Steph, how do you think about that? You want to sign up for that?
Me, no. I will admire him for that, though. That is awesome.
Yeah, so
Wow.
he is an inspiring man, and we wish him all the best here. We'll be rooting for him in San Antonio.
Yes.
So now to move from inspiring news to a little bit of kind of disgusting news. One San Antonio mom has a warning about uncarved pumpkins that may make your skin crawl. Now, the Hurst family, they visited a local pumpkin patch last weekend where her 8-year-old daughter, Hazel, picked out the perfect pumpkin. We all love pumpkins, right? Well, her daughter loved it so much that she even carried it around and slept next to it. This is where it gets gross. The mother snuck into the room to pull the pumpkin away from her bed, and then she realized that maggots ended up taking over the pumpkin. So be careful with those pumpkins out there.
And it's been hot and muggy lately too, and that hasn't really helped either.
Yeah, so while pumpkins are great to get us all in the Halloween spirit, kind of want to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, that's a no.
And moving on to this great Halloween weekend and Day of the Dead weekend that we have planned for us, there's a ton of fun things to do in San Antonio this weekend. If you're looking to trick or treat, maybe you don't want to trick or treat in your neighborhood, maybe you want to try something different. The San Antonio Zoo, the SeaWorld, Fiesta Texas, the San Antonio Museum of Art, they have options to go hang out there. Also, there's pumpkin patches and corn mazes around San Antonio to kind of soak in the end of Halloween weekend. And also, I know we've been promoting this all day, all week. The Day of the Dead parade is tonight on the Riverwalk. It starts at 7:30, but of course on KSAT.com we will be broadcasting it around 8. So make sure to tune in. Have some fun this weekend.
Yeah, a lot of people are ready.
Yeah, and
all the colorful floats.
And the weather's going to be great, so we're all excited about
Yes,
that.
it is.
Yes, thank you, Rebecca.
Rebecca
Thank
Salinas
you.
from our digital team. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
All right, let's talk about that trick-or-treat forecast, and we're hoping for treat, no trick.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, this entire weekend looks fantastic. Before we get to the good stuff, though, we do have to show you some video, which isn't so nice. This is coming out of Orange, Texas, where they had that tornado. We mentioned this yesterday, had the tornado move through. This is some of the damage from the drone, and it's just pretty incredible to see. You can actually pick out the path here where this tornado took, but took out some roofs. You can see some of the houses damaged there. It was a pretty serious tornado. They're probably going to look at this damage and then rate what that tornado ended up being. National Weather Service will go out and survey this damage, but you can kind of see the path there as it worked through that neighborhood. A lot of trees damaged as well. So just incredible video. It was a busy day out there yesterday, Far East Texas and parts of Louisiana. Now let's jump into our forecast, and there's the scene outside. It is beautiful this morning. Temperatures now closing in on 60 degrees, 59 at the airport, 60 Stinson, 58 Kelly. We've got a light westerly wind as it stands right now. Now, those winds will pick up again today. I know we're probably kind of tired of the wind. Already starting to see some gusts now around Rock Springs, Fredericksburg, and Gonzales. But here's the good news. Not as strong as the last couple days. I think we'll see some gusts up around 25, but not the 30, 40 mile per hour winds that we were looking at yesterday, which they were really strong as you got out towards Gonzales. Maybe even a little bit of damage here with some of those stronger winds. Here is the wind gust forecast. Again, maybe peaking around 25, possibly some gusts to 30 today. But by tonight, those winds die down. And on Saturday, you won't even notice them. It'll just be a light breeze. 59 in Comfort, 61 Canyon Lake, 64 right now in Castroville, 66 in Divine, 64 Carrizo Springs, 56 right now in Del Rio. In the forecast for today, most of us, at least Highway 90 North, are in the 70s. If you're south of that line, you may warm into the low 80s. Nice all the way around, though. And as we get into tomorrow morning, this is when it really gets chilly. Some of our coolest temperatures we've seen in a while. 45 here in San Antonio. I think we could see some more 30s in the hill country. We saw that this morning. It's entirely possible we fall into the upper 30s by your Saturday morning. Here's the big picture, and you'll notice that we have a big area of low pressure. This thing's huge. Stretches from the Great Lakes all the way down to really the Gulf of Mexico, and that's bringing rain and cooler temperatures to parts of the Midwest, Chicago, even the East Coast getting in on some rain. And then there's some showers up across the Pacific Northwest. We're behind this system and in good shape. Most of Texas is really quiet. There are a few clouds, Far East Texas, but that's it. And the forecast calls for that system to slowly move east, keeps things really quiet here. We do get a little quick moving system Monday. Doesn't do anything other than bring a few clouds. And then by Tuesday into Wednesday, another system works through. That'll push a front down. And by late Wednesday, early Thursday, I think we'll see some showers, maybe a thunderstorm. And temperatures may be cold enough to where we get some snow up across the Texas Panhandle with this system. Now, we're not going to see snow here, but it does go to show you that this will drive in some cooler air for us as well. And showers may be around on Thursday with some cloud cover. That'll keep temperatures probably fairly cool. Here's the trick-or-treat forecast. If you're headed out Sunday night, I think temperatures will be in the 70s, maybe eventually falling into the 60s. Clear skies, really, really nice weather for trick-or-treating. And the Halloween climatology, if you were curious, the warmest we've ever been on Halloween, 89. That was back in 1997. Coldest, 27 back in 1993. And the wettest, we picked up nearly 2 inches way back in 1896. We're going to be just about average this Halloween with no rain in the forecast. 82 Monday, 81 Tuesday, and then we'll get some showers and storms back in the forecast, as we mentioned, Wednesday into Thursday.
Justin, what are your daughters dressing as this year?
So we got Superwoman, and I believe it's some sort of like vampire, my older one. So I should know, but I don't know all the details. But
a new vampire?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think, but they are very excited.
Well, we're looking forward to the pictures.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Justin. 9:50, about 61 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, a portion of the Alamo reopening today. Details on what has been done since it was closed 2 years ago. A hotel that was once on the list for most endangered buildings in Texas is less than an hour away from San Antonio. Tomorrow on GMSA, the history and paranormal encounters you can experience at the Magnolia Hotel in Seguin.
All right, well, now let's look at the forecast. Breezy today, 75 degrees. Tomorrow, 79, 82 on Halloween. Perfect weekend. Some cool mornings for sure. 45 tomorrow morning. And then we get into some more humidity next week and some rain chances too, Wednesday into Thursday.
All right, we've got another article from KSAT.com. A historic structure at the world-famous Alamo is set to reopen today.
That's right. That's happening today. After 2 years of preservation work, the Alamo Long Barrack will be open to visitors again today.
The Long Barrack, which was originally first built roughly 300 years ago, is one of the oldest structures from the original mission era. It was closed to visitors back in 2019 to allow the Alamo's preservation team to conduct an investigation to assess the building's condition.
It says that visitors will not need a time ticket to visit the Long Barrack, though they still need one to visit the church or to book a guided tour.
So I kind of remember when this closed down, and we sped through that 2 years thanks to the pandemic, and here we are opening today. Oh wow, 1 minute left. Okay, so one of the preservationists said the Long Barrack is one of two surviving structures we have from the original mission era. This preservation work could not have occurred without closing the Long Barrack.
The quote goes on to say, we performed assessments of the condition of the walls above and below grade and used state-of-the-art technology during our investigations. With the data we have now, a long-term preservation plan for this historic building is currently underway.
All right, and then for a broader picture of Alamo renovations, there's a whole new plaza coming, everything like that. You can always go to our website at KSAT.com. Speaking of, if you'd like to learn more about the history of the Long Barrack and how they were saved, just look at the Tejano Moments section of KSAT.com. We've lived here for years. You grew up here. We're still learning stuff about the Alamo all the time.
It's amazing.
It is
amazing what they can do with preservation.
We need to go back there.
Be safe. Happy Halloween.
Bye, guys.
She's back at noon.
See you at noon.